Something I've always had trouble coming to terms with as I've gotten older is how every day essentially is Friday. At some point, life stops being about looking forward to that weekend, and you start to realize that, those weekend breakaways don't really get you any further or closer to what is reality, right? Because, the older you get, the more the real questions in life start to dawn on you. What's the purpose of life? What am I doing with my life? How can I see my future in 5, 10, 15 years? What do I want? I'm just saying, it's hard to really enjoy numbing yourself away and escapism on a weekend when, Monday to Saturday once again, Monday to Friday once again, you're back to the grind. And you're kind of never really fulfilled, right? Because work is work. Work is just a means to an end for people to make some money to afford rent and stuff. But I mean, in the way that the world is today, that the money it's almost worse to try and survive with money on low wages than it would be if you just said, fuck it, go into the woods and live off-grid in society, say screw all those bylaws, screw all those rules and whatever. Just go become an independent nomad, right? I don't know. As a kid, I always idealized the weekend. You always look forward to Friday nights and Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that. And I just imagined that growing up, that magical feeling of the weekend would stay the same, right? But what I found is no matter how many jobs I've had, no matter what education I've gone through, where I am in the world, it's almost like that magical feeling faded away. And every day is Friday. And what do I mean by that? Every day is Monday. It doesn't matter what day you call it. Every day is today, and it starts to build up. You just have this momentum of every day, right? Don't get me wrong, I don't have all the answers, right? I'm only 27, I'm still making my way through life, and this journey is a very wild and interesting one for all of us, but still, nonetheless, I can't help but ponder if there's a way to bring back that magical feeling of what it means to have weekends, right? Because it's not just the lack of a structured routine or anything, right? Because, a Monday to Friday job builds up to that, and then Friday gives you that way to break off all that inertia, that energy that you built up, and you let it go, and by Sunday, you're kind of refreshed and ready to go again. And it's I've done that many, many times. I've worked all kinds of jobs, like the Monday to Friday grind. And it doesn't really lead to any fulfilling satisfaction. It's just Saturday and Friday night is to numb yourself out, Sunday is to recuperate, and Monday to Thursday is that existential dread daydreaming away and, never really being able to materialize those plans. And then the other side is, I've also done those jobs where you go away for months on end, and then it's you come home. And that's kind of where I am at now. And don't get me wrong, it's I would do anything to be able to just do what I love. But once again, it's just a means to an end. I go away and I idealize home and things I want to do when I come home. And then when I get home, it's reality hits and there's a lack of motivation, and that recuperation phase comes again. It's just every day, once again, is a Monday. So it's or a Friday. So there's no overwhelming push to do something great. There's no oh, I'm gonna do something amazing today. It's just every day is just a part of the routine, right? It's Groundhog Day. It's the Truman Show, if you will, almost in its own weird way. The thing that worked the best for me to give me satisfaction in life now that I don't really rely on the validation of others, because at 27 you're kind of a decade outside of the regular social hierarchy, and you're now deeply ingrained into the fabric of the economic structure of the world. So your social relationships usually revolve around whatever area of the economy you wind yourself up into. But the thing that I do is I like music, I like walks into the woods, I like creating art, and I also personally building up a big repertoire of plans of things that I'd like to do, right? No one idea is ever going to be $1 million idea, but you spam that F key and every idea that comes to you write down, and over time you'll be able to litmus test certain ideas, and certain things will kind of call to you, and after a while you'll have this big list of things. So it's that's another thing I really enjoy. I like to daydream a little bit about potential ways to create in this world, right? Whether it be economic or actual create things, structures. Wouldn't it be cool to make a pyramid or some kind of thing like that? Have your own little, I don't know, a few acres of ranch that you turn into a Roman style villa. But these are the things that help me kind of feel fulfilled. I also think about things that I could do in the future to volunteer to help others, because as I get older I realize that everyone else is also kind of just a reflection of myself, and everyone's going through stuff equally and like differently as what I do in life. So I should do what I can to help others, and that doesn't just extend to people, that extends to animals and the world as a whole, right? The feeling, that magical feeling of like going on a vacation is a really good way to connect it as well, because it's like, even for that, to me, I don't really get that excited, because I've done a lot of traveling. I've had to travel a lot with the jobs that I've done, and I don't know, after a while, the euphoria of all these different new activities in different places starts to change, because you start to look at the world a little bit different. Everything shrinks, and it shrinks, and it shrinks, and you realize that you're chasing really superficial, like chemical feelings that are all like a part of the stimulus of your environment, right? I've noticed that most cities feel the same, most urban environments feel the same. A lot of rural places is where you're going to find culture, but rural also has a lot of like similarities. I guess it's just it's built into us as humans. And so it's like, every day I wake up, like it's Friday, and I have no necessarily binding things to do because I'm an adult, and it's like there's nothing really holding my feet to the fire besides myself and those accountabilities that go with the basics of life. And it makes me really kind of ponder these things a lot.